দীপ্ত টিভির সাপ্তাহিক আয়োজন নিটোল টাটা বিস্ট ট্রেন্ডসে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি। আমি আব্দুল্লাল মামুন। আজকে আমরা কথা বলবো মালয়েশিয়ার হেলথ কেয়ার নিয়ে। স্টুডিওতে আমাদের সাথে আজকে আছেন টিএমসি ফার্টিলিটি অ্যান্ড উইমেন্স স্পেশালিস্ট সেন্টারের সিইও মিস আইরিন কোয়ান। ওয়েলকাম আইরিন টু আওয়ার শো। I would like to start with introduction. So would you like to introduce yourself as well as your specialist center?
Thank you, Mamoon. I'm Irene Kwan. I'm actually a qualified pharmacist that have been working in healthcare for more than 20 years. And before I actually joined the fertility industry. Now I'm with TMC Fertility and Women's Specialist Center. We have one of the largest network of IVF labs and centers in Malaysia. In our outstation branches as well, we have got a branch in Penang, Ipoh, Johor Bahru, and Puchong, Kota Damansara, and Kepong.
Okay, so what sort of services do you provide from your center actually?
We provide full-fledged fertility services that includes IUI, IVF, ICSI, blastocyst, the full spectrum of it, and including genetic screening for fertility as well.
Okay, when we are talking about the potential Bangladeshi patients actually, do you consider that your center is a cost-effective option for Bangladeshi people?
Definitely, our packages and pricings are very affordable. In fact, in our region, right, comparing to our neighboring countries, our packages are definitely affordable.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean that our standard is not premium. Malaysia actually has been very well known for providing quality premium fertility services for more than 25 years. And we are one of the pioneers.
Okay. Infrastructurally, what do you have? I mean, the facilities of the, the beds, the doctors and others. Can you share those? Actually, what sort of infrastructure do you have?
Definitely. Now, one of our IVF fertility centers is actually based in a hospital. It's a complete full tertiary hospital, Thomson Hospital in Kota Damansara. So we have actually more than 250 beds and expanding. We just got our license for the new wing of our hospital with a full-fledged of specialist services as well. So fertility center is actually based inside. Now we have one of the most equipped state-of-the-art IVF labs, and all our doctors are also quite well trained as well with more than 20 years of experience, So in all total, since we started in 1994, we have actually helped more than 10,000 couples in achieving their dreams of becoming parents.
Okay. So do you have the foreign patients as well?
Yes, we do. We also have Bangladeshi patients with us. A year we get about 30 to 50 couples. So we know that the potentials are bigger actually.
Okay, so for the Bangladeshi medical travelers actually, what sort of, you have mentioned IVF and other things, but from the very screening level to the, the final stage, what sort of medical services do you provide?
We do provide, all the way before the start of it, like the pre-fertility testings and all that. Like for international travelers, especially Bangladeshis, right? We can also work with the local doctors here to start initiating the service first, the test first. While we actually arrange for teleconsultation, we can provide that. Then only we arrange them to actually fly over to our country. But of course, other than the medical treatment services that we provide, we can also assist in traveling arrangement, the visa application. We are working very, very closely with the government side and also with MHTC, our Malaysian Healthcare Travel Council, to actually assist in ensuring that, the start of the journey, right, until the end and they return to be smooth.
Okay. So when someone or a couple particularly identifies themselves that they need this sort of consultation, should that be done in Bangladesh? I mean, they have to identify their problem, or you will start from, very scratch? What sort of things do you recommend for the couples?
Usually as a start, we can actually arrange for a teleconsultation first. So the couples can actually do it at the comfort within their own home country. Then, when it warrants, if there's any further test that's required, we can actually work with their local ONG, their doctors, to actually initiate the test first. Then send us the results, and we can actually arrange for the trip eventually.
Okay. As you know, in Bangladesh, there are lots of misconception, about the infertility and lots of things, and most of the times it ended in blaming game to each other and all these things. So going for a sequential and a scientific, the treatment facilities, what should be done before visiting to doctors and others? Do you have any advice for that?
Actually, at TMC Fertility, we do emphasize on providing fertility treatment as a holistic treatment. So it's not just the fertility treatment first, but also looking into their emotional and psychological support. So we also assess, right, and see if they require any other further therapies. Like for example, if the patients, right, are actually not at the optimum weight, so we may want to initiate some dietary counseling in helping them to achieve optimal body weight first.
Okay.
So every individual patient is actually different.
Definitely.
So we actually look into personalizing the treatment for them.
Okay. And as because particularly for the women's issue, the privacy and other issues are there. And women, especially from Bangladesh, they prefer to be treated by the women doctors and others. Do you have that facilities?
Yes, we do have a team. We do have a team of female ONG doctors, but we also realize that some Bangladeshi couples come out, they also do visit our male gynecologists too.
Okay.
Yeah, so I suppose...
So you have both the options.
Correct, correct. So we actually leave it to patients to choose. But we realize that for fertility, most of the time, it's not about the gender of the doctor which matters. As long as the couple feels comfortable with the doctor, right, and then they will choose that particular doctor. So either go with their experience or their popularity or their success rate. Now, Malaysia is actually very well known for our high success rate. So for TMC Fertility, we are very proud to announce that we have achieved up to 83%.
Okay.
Of course, coupled with our PGTA and also time-lapse technology.
So when you are talking about 83% success rate, what is the tenure of this data and others? For how many years you have achieved this?
Actually, for many years, we have been able to champion that. That is the highest record that we have achieved.
So currently, with your facility, what is the capacity to serve in an annual, around a year?
We have achieved actually more than 1,200 cycles in all our centers.
Okay. So beyond the infertility and others, what sort of services do you provide to the patients?
Of course, our doctors are trained obstetric and gynecologists as well. So other than fertility, of course, the women reproductive, antenatal and all that we do cover.
Okay,
Yeah.
that means those are the regular treatments and other things.
Correct,
That is
correct.
also, and it is open for the international travelers as well.
Of course.
Okay, definitely we will discuss further on the other issues, but after a short break. দর্শক আমরা কথা বলছি আজকে টিএমসি ফার্টিলিটি অ্যান্ড উইমেন্স স্পেশালিস্ট সেন্টারের সিইও মিস আইরিন কোয়ানের সাথে। যাচ্ছি ছোট্ট একটা বিরতিতে, থাকুন আমাদের সাথেই। বিরতি থেকে ফিরে আরও একবার স্বাগত নিটোল টাটা বিজ ট্রেন্ডসে। কথা বলছি আজকে মালয়েশিয়ার হেলথ কেয়ার নিয়ে। আমাদের সাথে অতিথি হিসেবে আছেন টিএমসি ফার্টিলিটি অ্যান্ড উইমেন্স স্পেশালিস্ট সেন্টারের সিইও মিস আইরিন কোয়ান। Once again, welcome to our show. So we were talking about the different issues of infertility. I would like to know how you have become, the center of excellence, and what sort of actually unique features that you have in your center.
Sure. Now, TMC Fertility is actually very committed and passionate in improving our success rate as well. So over the years, we have actually focused a lot of our energy and efforts into improving our technology. So every year or so, we will try to introduce something that actually helps to improve further. Now, in year 2003, we were the first center in Malaysia to actually offer pre-genetic screening test, the PGT. So
what does that actually, what is the output of that test?
Well, that enabled us to actually select, right, the best quality embryo to implant. Now, when we actually do the procedure, most of the time we can extract like a wide variety and quantity. But how do we ensure that it's the best quality? Only the best quality embryo, right, once implanted, then that will guarantee a higher chance of success. So we actually brought in that technology. We were the first center in Malaysia. And subsequently, we also introduced artificial intelligence now to enhance embryo selection. Genetically select the best, artificially using the data that we have to select the really ultimate best embryo for implantation. We also introduced technology like embryo glue, where it increased the implantation rate, and microfluidic sperm selection, where we select champion sperms.
Okay.
There's no point choosing weak sperms as well. Now, that technology enabled us to do that. And most recently, just this year, we are so proud to announce that we actually have launched our in-house co-developed genetic screening fertility gene code that actually provides screening tests to our couples to determine whether they have any inherent infertility gene. Secondly, we also incorporate in pharmacogenetics, which you can know it as pharmacogenomics, in precision medicine for IVF treatments. Now, this enables us, right, to remove the guessing game. We will be able to identify what is the best drug treatment for every individual, because all of us are different.
Yeah, it's a very much highly, you have mentioned about the technology and others. Let's talk about the, human behavior part. When a couple actually go through this sort of, the experiences, and how do you deal with their mental health and counseling and other things? Would you like to say something about that?
Yes. Now, we also emphasize on the psychological and emotional support. So we have a team of fertility coach that's also supporting us. We can provide all these services to our patients. We have RTEC certified counselor. We also have clinical psychologists. We also have another team that provides group support therapy that will be able to address from different angles, address different issues that's actually being faced by the couple. Now, you know that fertility journey is actually a very emotional journey.
Very much.
And it's also something that, you will not ask everyone. It's very sensitive.
Very sensitive,
very
private. Yeah.
Yes, and confidential.
Definitely.
So who can they turn to? So in our center, we actually do provide all these services. So our patients are open to actually engage them too.
Yeah. When we are talking about the patients from Bangladesh, as you know, the majority of the population is a Muslim. So do you have any sorts of facility or special attention for the Muslim culture and other things when we treat the infertility and other reproductive issues?
Yes, because in Malaysia, we are also a Muslim country. So we are actually quite sensitive towards this. So for our facilities and services, we do cater. So let's say Bangladeshi patients that comes by, even, not just only the medical treatments that we ensure is Muslim friendly, we also ensure that, if you require help, like for food, recommendation, there's plenty of halal food anywhere. So let's say, like you mentioned earlier on, if they prefer to have a female gynecologist or fertility specialist to attend to them, we also have female doctors as well.
So, lots of Bangladeshi women, they suffer from, the hormonal imbalance and other problems due to hormone. So what sort of treatment and the services from TMC they can get? Well,
first, we also have to assess them first. So we have a wide variety of tests, right, to actually determine what kind of hormonal imbalance are they facing. And then our doctors can actually treat it accordingly. So of course, in Malaysia, we do have access to premium quality and wide variety of hormonal drugs too. That is one of it. So other than Western medications, our doctors also couple with alternative, like traditional Chinese medicine. They are also known to be very effective, right, in helping to achieve hormonal balances, like acupuncture, gua sha, moxibustion, that also helps. So our medical doctors, right, actually have many years of experience, even working with traditional Chinese medicine as well, so in concurrently. So we try to address it both ways, because the Western contemporary medications will actually, and treatment will address the symptom itself and reduce it, but whereas the alternative TCM will actually help to address the root cause, to restore, and then to actually relieve the symptoms too.
Yeah. So you have both the options that you have
Correct.
mentioned. So what sort of telecommunication or teleconsultation facility do you have? Because before making the decision, you know, the patient should have that trust and, you know, on your services and others. So do you have these facilities?
Yes, we have introduced teleconsultation at the start of the pandemic, in year 2020.
So how was your experience on that?
Initially, to be very honest, the uptake was very slow because the doctors themselves was a bit resistant because they are so used to having physical consultations, but with the borders closed, you know, patients can't fly in, doctors can't fly out either. So we gradually noticed the uptake, and now the doctors and also the patients, right, they are rather comfortable because we actually use a specially designed system. It's not an open system. So security, privacy, confidentiality, the one is ensured and secure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the Bangladeshi medical travelers, when we are talking these things, and I hope the viewers and audience who are watching this show right now, so what sort of special facilities or offer or package can you give from the TMC Fertility and Women's Specialist Center?
We have a wide variety actually. So, you know, it's not just going straight for fertility treatment, because some patients may also need to assess their fertility first for both women and also men. Now, it's also under male infertility is an area which is often overlooked. Most of the time, right, we will figure that even in the past, not just here, but all over in this region, people would tend to think that, you know, if it's infertility, we always start treating the women first. But you need men and women to get pregnant, right? So we realized that over the years, male infertility issue is also very prevalent and increasing. So at TMC, we treat both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. When we talk about fertility or infertility, it seems that it's an issue of women and others, but definitely it has the counterpart male as well.
Correct.
So do you get the male patients as well?
Yes, we do. We do. It is increasing.
Okay.
Yeah. But of course, for international travelers, right, we also provide services like travel arrangements, you know, like if they need any pre-test, you know, maybe during the teleconsultation, we realize that, you know, the patients have never done any fertility screening test at all. So we can actually advise. Now, the Bangladeshi patients, right, they can actually get it done here. You don't have to fly to Malaysia, get the test done. So get all that ready, then we can have our fertility specialists to assess it, then discuss about the options of treatments that's available. So once the couple is agreed, we can also provide assistance. Like you need to have a visa. Like recently, our Excellency Ambassador of Malaysia also have announced that, you know, they're looking into e-visa already for medical purposes. So that will make it a lot easier. Right from the start of the travel, you require the visa, it can be done. We have our International Patient Center seated in our hospital. They actually can provide the assistance really end to end.
Okay.
If you need even interpreter, you know, maybe some Bangladeshi, they may not be able to speak fluent English, it's fine. You know, just let us know.
Okay, you have that facility.
We have that facility.
Of the interpreter.
Money changer and traveling, hotel, even flight bookings. Even if they want to go on a tour, because you know Malaysia, we have a lot to offer too in terms of tourism, shopping.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely, I think that will be very attractive for Bangladeshi for their medical treatment and other things. So when people actually try to choose, you know, the hospitals or the medical centers, they look for some sort of, you know, international accreditations and others. So as far as TMC is concerned, so what sort of international accreditations do you have so far?
We are actually certified by ARTEC.
Okay.
ARTEC actually is an arm that actually looks into fertility by the Fertility Society of Australia. So it's not a local accreditation.
That's an international.
Yes, international.
And from the
Australia.
local authority, I mean, in Malaysian, I mean, government and others, you have that accreditation
Yes,
as
we
well.
do. We do. We will go for licensing. So if we are not licensed by our Ministry of Health, we are not able to actually start our business anyway. So every year, the Ministry of Health will actually come for inspection, ensure that we are also following our standard too.
So that means they are very much compliant with the legal compliance of the Malaysian government as well as the
Definitely.
international accreditations are there. So
Correct,
thank you. Thank you,
correct.
Mrs. Irene Kwan. Nice talking to you and hear a lot about TMC Fertility and Women's Specialty Center.
Thank you.
দর্শক কথা বলছিলাম টিএমসি ফার্টিলিটি অ্যান্ড উইমেন্স স্পেশালিস্ট সেন্টার মালয়েশিয়ার সিইও মিস আইরিন কোয়ানের সাথে কথা হচ্ছিল আমাদের ইনফার্টিলিটি চিকিৎসা নিয়ে এবং কি করে বাংলাদেশের রোগীরা যারা রয়েছেন বিশেষ করে দম্পতি তারা স্ক্রিনিং থেকে শুরু করে আইভিএফ পর্যন্ত বিভিন্ন ধরনের চিকিৎসা নিতে পারেন এবং তার সাথে জড়িত ভিসা যাতায়াত অন্যান্য বিষয়ে কিভাবে সহযোগিতা করতে পারে। নিশ্চয়ই যারা এ ধরনের সহযোগিতা বা এ ধরনের চিকিৎসা নিতে চান তারা মালয়েশিয়াকে একটি গন্তব্য হিসেবে ভাবতে পারেন। প্রয়োজনীয় তথ্য উপাত্ত যা কিছু আজকে আলোচনা হলো নিশ্চয়ই আপনাদের উপকারে সেটি আসবে এই প্রত্যাশা রেখে শেষ করছি আজকের নিটল টাটা বিজ ট্রেন্ডস।